Hey guys, so I know a lot of you are probably looking for build to play in the upcoming Legacy of Phrecia event, right? So I cooked up Caustic Arrow of Poison, if you've seen my other Caustic Arrow of Poison video, so it's going to be a little bit similar to that, but we're not running Kitsugi this time because there's not really any reason to without Deadeye Ascendancy, right? Without Wind Ward. But we do have a bunch of health, quite a good amount, so hopefully, the max hits are going to be okay for a ranged character. And we are going to be using the Oshabi Ascendancy. So we're going to be using, where is it? This one. Now, I wanted to make use of a couple of things. So the shrines are really, really strong. And honestly, if you're running Oshabi and you're going to take this and you use Gull, you can run pretty much any skill that you want. I decided to use Caustic Arrow Poison, but you don't have to, because I also wanted to make use of this. So basically, once we hit 5 times, which with Caustic Arrow of Poison, it's going to be 1 hit, and we hit 7 times. So you're going to be applying 2 poisons instantly, but the second hit, all of them are going to be poisoning. So I wanted to make use of these, as well as obviously for League Star, the 30% increased movement speed is very, very nice. So we're going to be using that, as well as maximum life from having no gems in gloves and boots. So I already kind of pre-configured all of this in here. Now, if you've seen the previous build, so I've been using Mirage Archers, stationary Mirage Archers, but we can't really do that. But it's not really a big deal because we're going to be getting a lot of buffs from the shrines, and well, these are basically just kind of standard gems for Caustic Arrow of Poison, right? One thing to note is that you don't really want to use deadly ailments because you still need to leech to shoot your skill, right? So you still want to have some base damage, and since we're using triple elemental bow, we still have some base damage. Well, not crazy, but we have enough to leech. And basically, this is going to be our mana sustain. And if you somehow manage to luck out on all the shrines, your damage gets insanely high. This is why I'm telling you that you can run this on any single skill. It's just gonna be insane because every 10 seconds we get one of the shrine buffs. So these I already copied the damaging ones in here. So there's in total I think like 14 or something shrines, and there's 6 damaging shrines, which obviously, the duration of our buffs is gonna be extended by Gull. So instead of 45 seconds, we're gonna have a little bit over a minute. And in theory, it is possible to luck out and get all of these. And also, Gull increases everything by 75%. So this is gonna be like 87 projectile speed. Doesn't matter for us. This is 175. These are whatever. Let's say this is 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. It doesn't count this one, but this would be like 8. And this would be like 17. This would be like 87. And this doesn't matter. So just from if you're using Gull and Oshabi Ascendancy with shrines, every 10 seconds you're going to be getting a lot of damage. Right, like as you can see, my damage literally went up by 10 times if I luck out into using all of these. And then there's also, the charges that I'm getting, the defenses. There's also shrines that give evasion, life, a little bit more AoE, and also look at the movement speed. So you're gonna be extremely fast if you luck out into all of the shrines at once. But yeah, that's the build that I'm gonna be going with. So for this build, you're gonna need Glorious Fountain here with preferably 2 Ritual of Shadows in these slots. It doesn't have to be like you can grab one here if you want to, because it's still only 4 nodes as well. Here it's a little bit more, it's 5, so you know, here is also 4. So if you want, you can look whichever one that you have. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know how to, you know, navigate this thing. So basically just you do Ritual of Shadows in here, and well, let's say for the sake of the showcase, in case if you don't know how to do this, you do Ritual of Shadows in here, and then you generate, and we have a bunch. And there's one with 3 Ritual of Shadows, and there's a bunch with 2, so you know, yeah, there's like 20 or something options with 2 Ritual of Shadows for 4 nodes, so you're gonna be fine. So just pick whatever, you know, whatever you have. Doesn't really matter which one of these you go for. And Threads of Hope in here, as per usual, if you're playing a bow character, so this is generally really good, right? We grab +1 in here, grab +1 in here. Sadly, you know, once they moved, you can't grab both of them, but you know, arrows are a damage multiplier for us, so make sure that you get the large one. There's a lot of good nodes in here. All of these are very, very good. Wind Dancer as well. And you do want at least 1 pierce, since we are using unique gloves, you know, and the helmet, so you can't really get it other way. Well, I guess technically quiver, but quiver is a hunter already. You would be aiming for something like this, so you know, it might be a little bit hard to get pierce in there unless you're using the pierce quiver itself, but it's kind of bad, right? It's not passive exile 2 quiver with 100%. But yeah, so you do want at least 1 pierce, so the mapping feels better, and that's basically about it. In here, if you want, well, preferably you want Brute for Potency in here, so you have flash charges gained, because you do need to invest a little bit. You know, I have these and Tides of Time with 3 utility flasks every 3 seconds, and with this we have 100% uptime. Not on Quicksilver, but you know, Quicksilver is just, well, it's nice, but it's not mandatory to have it, right? And then 4th flask, you can use whatever you want, even Bismuth if you're, I don't know, going crazy on damage everywhere. But you do also want a little bit of unreserved mana, so you can shoot at least twice. So before you know, the alls start popping up, you might wanna just allocate Sovereignty with an Anoint. It should give you enough so you can shoot twice. If not, you know, you can always just have some jewels that have mana reservation, right? Up to 5%. So it should be plenty. And spell suppression on this build is a little bit rough because we only really have 2 items, so you're gonna need a body armor with a lot of evasion, preferably no life, and a little bit of suppression. And then on boots, well, it's gonna be a little bit easier to get, right? So boots, just 11 in here and it should be good. And of course, you know, there's always tattoos, I guess, but generally they're pretty expensive, and we do want at least 2. Well, two is fine. You don't really need more than 2. 3 maybe for like blinding every single press of button, right? But 2 blind tattoos, so we have a little bit more evasion. And pierce, yeah. So you know, basically just a standard poison tree, standard bow poison tree in here, with the exception of Glorious Vanity over here for Wither. And don't forget to grab this, because this, like, after you grab these, you're gonna be needing 5 more, as you can see, 81. And if we grab one of this, we have 82%. So the resistances, you know, in here I don't have anything on the items, but you don't really need much because we are using all the flasks, right? So you only really need like 50 of each, right? So shouldn't be a big deal to cap it out. But yeah, this is the build. Oh yeah, make sure that you're not socketing anything in boots or gloves. Otherwise, you're gonna be losing out on 30 move speed and 30 max life. But other than that, this is the build. And as I've said, if you don't really want to play dot, you can pretty much play anything, any bow, you know, skill. Well, obviously you would need to adjust the tree a little bit, but with the Oshabi Ascendancy, it's pretty much a very nice, well-rounded beast of a starter, right? You can play anything in there because the shrines are going to be so strong. And then there's also the Atlas tree, which can improve the shrines, I think, by 30% or something like that. So you're gonna be just blasting with insane movement speed. Like it's gonna be totally different than Path of Exile 2. So there you go, guys. This is gonna be what I'm gonna be starting with, and I'll try to cook up a couple of more builds because there's like the new Ascendants are very fun. They look very nice. So I'll try to cook up a couple of other builds. We'll see what we come up with, and of course, I'll post them for you two guys. Maybe choose a starter if you want. And as usual, this is by no means a min-max version. I put this together in a couple of hours, and the rest is up to you. You can always go for like hunt rings if you want, better bow or a synthesized bow, right? I think this isn't even all tier ones, but realistically, you're not gonna be getting tier ones. Yeah, it's one tier one, one tier two, and one tier three. So this is probably what you can realistically get. You get like a tier two fracture, then you essence, and then you hit like a tier three. So should be fine. Project speed in here doesn't really matter. Poison doesn't get increased by project speed from this. As you can see, it only increases the hit damage, not poison damage. So yeah, this is the build, and hopefully you guys have fun with it. I know I will. So I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.